Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. We are Group 2 representing topic reproductive system. Before we go further, let me introduce our team members first. In this group, we have Nur Farah Shahira, Nur Fatiha, Nurul Hamiza, and me, Nur Ayuni. Are you ready? If so, let's look deeply about this topic. General terms that related to both sexes in this topic is genitalia and perineum. Genitalia is organs reproduction and their associated structures. It can divide into external and internal. External genitalia is reproductive organs that located outside of the body, while internal genitalia is reproductive organs that located within the body. Both sexes also have perineum, but the location of them are different, which is in male it extends from scrotum to the area around the anus, and in female it extends from pubic symphysis to the area around the anus. Male and female reproductive system have their own function. Male reproductive system is to produce sperm and deliver them into female body for fertilization, while female reproductive system is for creation and support of new life. As you can see, there are structure of male reproductive system. Male reproductive system can divide into internal and external genitalia. External male genitalia can be scrotum and penis, while the rest was internal male genitalia. As I mentioned just now, scrotum and penis are external male genitalia. So, what are they? Scrotum is sac-like structure that surrounds, protect, and support testicle. It was suspended from pubic arch behind the penis and lies between the thigh. In scrotum, it have testicle where it two egg-shaped glands that produce sperm. Testicle contains seminiferous tubules where the sperm is formed and epididymis where it stores sperm cell for maturation and transport it into vas deferens. Epididymis is a coiled tubes at the upper part of each testicle, descend the length of the testicles, then move upward to merge into vas deferens. Each testicles also have spermatic cord that extends upward from epididymis where it contains vas deferens plus arteries, veins, nerves, and lymphatic vessel. Let's move on to the semen formation. Semen is a whitish fluid that contains sperms. It can be ejaculated through urethra at the peak of male sexual excitement. The process of sperm formation called spermatogenesis. Ideal temperature in form of sperm was 93.2 degrees Fahrenheit or 34 degrees Celsius. You should know that if over temperature occurred, dysfunction of sperm might be happen. Once the sperm is formed, it will move from seminiferous tubules of testicle into epididymis, where they become motile and stored as I mentioned just now. Then, sperm will travel to vas deferens into seminal vesicles and prostate gland at secretion to form semen. Next, let's talk about penis. Penis is used for transport sperm into female vagina besides for urination. There are three columns of erectile tissue. Erectile tissue included collagenous tissue, corpus cavernosa, and corpus spongiosum. Penis contains a very rich supply of blood vessels and nerves. So, when the blood from the circulatory system fills the cylinders, the penis becomes enlarged and hard or erect during sexual stimulation. Gland penis is a sensitive region of the penis where it located at the tip of penis. Foreskin, or known as prepuce, is retractable double layer full of skin and mucous membrane to cover and protect the gland's penis.
Hi, I'm Farah Shahira. We present about the next internal organs. The first one is vas deferens. The vas deferens terms in the singular is called a ductus deferens or a sperm duct. The two vasa deferentia are a part of the male reproductive system. This long muscular tube runs from the epididymis into the pelvic cavity behind the bladder and connects with to the urethra through a structure called the ejaculatory duct. Male vas deferens is surrounded by the spermatic cord and transports mature sperm to the urethra before they ejaculate. Where is the vas deferens located? The vas deferens begins in the scrotum, which is the sac containing the male testicles. The vas deferens then travels to the testicles into the body. It continues until it joins with the duct of the seminal vesicle to create the ejaculatory duct. And then the next one, what does the vas deferens do? The male testes are the place where sperm cells are created. From there, the sperm move into the epididymis, which is a structure located on the top of the testicle. The epididymis stores sperm cells and has the job of bringing the maturity so they are able to fertilize eggs. When the male is sexually aroused, muscle contraction move the sperm from the epididymis to the vas deferens and from there into the urethra, so they are able to ejaculate the semen outside of his body. During the process, the male body adds secretions to the sperm cells to make semen. Next is seminal vesicle. What is seminal vesicle? A seminal vesicle is a part of anatomy that typically considered male. The two seminal vesicles are glands that produce the fluid that will turn into semen. The vesicles may also be called seminal glands or vesicular glands. The seminal vesicles are located behind the bladder and in front of the rectum. The tip of the vas deferens is near the vesicles. Seminal glands, which are like bags or pouches that have blood vessels and nerve within them. Furthermore, we move on for the function of seminal vesicle. The seminal vesicle is a part of reproductive system. The vesicle have both glandular tissue and muscular tissue. The muscular tissue contracts to move seminal fluid and sperm into the urethra and out through the penis. Next, we're gonna move on to the function of seminal vesicles. The seminal vesicle is a part of reproductive system. The vesicle have both glandular tissues and muscular tissue. The muscular tissues contracts to move the seminal fluid and sperm into the urethra and out through the penis. This gland did not store sperms. They secrete seminal fluid such as fructose-rich alkaline fluid that mix with the sperm as they pass through the ejaculatory ducts. This fluid provides sperms with energy sources and coating agent that to neutralize the acidity of the vagina and cervical mucus. The secretion from the seminal vesicles comprise the bulk of the semen, making around 70% of the volume of ejaculate. And then the next one is ejaculatory duct. Each of male, two testicles have a vas deferens that joins with each of the seminal vesicle ducts to form the ejaculatory ducts. The ejaculatory ducts move through the prostate and pick up the prostatic fluid to add to the semen. The fluid empties into the urethra. This fluid was what carries sperm outside of the male bodies when they ejaculate because of the sexual arousal. The ejaculatory duct delivers sperm into the urethra, adding secretions and additive from the prostate necessary for sperm function while providing an interface between the reproductive and urinary system in man. From this coronal section, here's where the ejaculatory duct located at. The prostate gland located below the bladder and penis. We can see the urethra running through the structures. Next is prostate gland. The prostate is a small gland and a soft organ that parts of the male reproductive system. On average, it is roughly the size of a walnut and a ping pong ball. The prostate gland lies under the bladder and surrounds the end of the urethra in the region where the vas deferens enters the urethra. During the ejaculation, the prostate gland secretes a thick alkaline fluid into the semen that aids to motility of the sperm. Motility here means referred to the ability to move. So, what does the prostate do for a man? The prostate gland helping to produce semen. The prostate contributes additional fluid to man's semen, which is ejaculate. Ejaculate is a whitish gray fluid that released from the penis when they orgasm. The fluid contains enzyme, zinc, and citric acid, which help to nourish the sperm cells and lubricate the urethra. The urethra is a tube where each ejaculate and pee flow out of the body. The prostate muscles also help to push semen into and through the urethra when they are orgasm. And the next one is closing the urethra during the ejaculation. During ejaculation, the prostate contracts and squirts prostatic fluid into the urethra. Here, it mixes the sperm cell and fluid from the seminal vesicle to create semen, which the body when expels. When the prostate contracts during ejaculation, it closes off the opening between the bladders and urethra, pushing the semen through the spit. This is why, in typical anatomic situation, it is impossible to urinate and ejaculate simultaneously. The fourth internal organ is bulbourethral glands. The bulbourethral glands, or we can call it the copper glands, are pea-sized structures located on the sides of the urethra, just below the prostate gland. This is from the sagittal view of this gland. We can see that bulbourethral glands located just inferior to the prostate and posterolateral to the intermediate part of urethra. This gland also empty into the posterior aspect of the urethra at the purple arrow point. The function is this pea-sized gland secretes a clear and watery fluid that lubricates the urethra in preparation for the passage of the semen, which I have explained before. This fluid serves to lubricate the urethra and to neutralize any acidity that may be present due to the residual drops of the urine in the urethra. This fluid can contain sperm and it is able to cause pregnancy even if ejaculation does not occur. Last but not least, urethra. Urethra is a tube that carries urine from the bladder to the outside of the body. In male, it has additional function where urethra also carries semen during the ejaculation process. Where is this urethra located at? The urethra is a passageway located in the body's pelvic region. The walls of the tube are thin and made up of epithelial tissue and smooth muscle cells and connective tissues. Then the function of urethra. The urethra is a part of urinary system. This system is made up of your kidney, bladders, ureters, and urethra. Your kidneys cleans your blood and produce urine, which is a waste product. From 2 kidneys and 2 ureters, it moves to the urine to the bladder, where it stores until you urinate. Urinate leaves your body through a hole at the end of your urethra. The hole from the inside to the outside is called urethral meatus. Furthermore, male urethra is a muscular tube that is both part of urinary system by evacuating urine from the bladder and the reproductive system as a passageway for a male ejaculate. The male urethra in coronal section is comprised of 4 parts, which are the preprostatic urethra, which is the intramural part, is the initial part of the urethra that starts just after the internally urethral orifice. Next is prostatic urethra, which is the portion of the urethra that passes through the prostate gland to produce the semen that will be ejaculated. And then the third one is membranous urethra, which connects the prostatic urethra and the spongy urethra, the short part of the urethra that transports fluids through the pelvic floor. And then the last one is spongy urethra. This is the longest piece of the urethra. This section extends the entire length of the penis and ends at the urethral meatus or the opening outside of the body.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Hamizah binti Sakri and I will explain about the general function of female reproductive system, and I also will explain about two of the structures of female reproductive system, which are external female genitalia and the breast. These are the function of female reproductive system. The general function of female reproductive system is the development and maintenance of new life are the primary responsibilities of the reproductive system of the female. The second one is the function of the ovaries. Ovaries is for producing mature eggs, which are then fertilized by the sperm. They also produce and store your eggs, also known as ovum, and produce hormones that regulate your menstrual cycle and pregnancy. The third one is the function of the uterus. The function of the uterus is to provide the environment and support for the developing child. It's also responsible for your menstrual cycle. The fourth one is the function of the breast. The function of the breast is to produce milk to feed the child. In addition, milk for lactation is also produced by the breast.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Fatihah Rosani. I'm going to explain to you the structure of the female reproductive system. It is described as being the external female genitalia and the internal female reproductive. This is the structure of the female reproductive system. It consists of fallopian tube, ovary, uterus, urinary bladder, pubic symphysis, urethra clitoris, urethral orifices, labia minora, labia vagina, anus, rectum, and cervix. For the next slide, you will know what external female genitalia are.
These are the structures of external female genitalia, which consist of mons pubis, prepuce of clitoris, glans of clitoris, and also urethral orifice. It also has labia minora, labia majora, vagina orifice. Next, it also has hymen, anus, perineum, and Bartholin's glands. The external female genitalia are located posterior to the pubic bone, which are called as mons pubis. The vulva and the pudendum are the names given to these anatomical structures. The vulva consists of the labia, clitoris, Bartholin's glands, and vagina orifice. These are the parts of the vulva. The first one is labia. Labia is divided into two parts, which are the labia majora and labia minora. Labia majora and labia minora are the vaginal lips that protect the other external genitalia and the urethral meatus. Urethral meatus is which refers to the opening on the outer walls of the urethra. Next is the clitoris. The clitoris is an organ of sensitive, erectile tissue located anterior to the urethral meatus and the vagina orifice. Next is Bartholin's glands. Bartholin's glands, a mucus secretion should be produced in the Bartholin's glands in order to lubricate the vagina. On either side of the vagina orifice is where you'll find these two small glands that look like balls. Next is the vagina orifice. Vagina orifice is the exterior opening of the vagina. The meaning of orifice is opening. The vagina orifice is partially covered by the hymen. What is hymen? Hymen is a thin mucous membrane that partially covers the opening and can be torn either during the first instance of intercourse or other activity. This tissue also can be absent in a woman who has not been sexually active. These are the structures of breast, which consist of nipple, areola, mammary glands, and lactiferous ducts. Breasts are made up of fat, connective tissue, and the mammary glands. Each breast is fixed to the overlying skin and the underlying pectoral or chest muscles by suspensory ligaments. Mammary glands, which are also known as lactiferous glands. These are the milk-producing glands that develop during puberty. The lactiferous ducts, also known as milk ducts. it carries milk from the mammary glands to the nipple. In addition, lact means milk and efferents means carrying or producing. Breast milk flows through the nipple, which is surrounded by the dark pigmented area known as the areola. This is the video that shows how milk is produced during lactation process.
Internal female genitalia is located within the pelvic cavity and protected by bony pelvis. The organs include 2 ovaries, 2 fallopian tubes, the uterus, and the vagina. This is an anterior schematic view of the female reproductive organs. The left ovary, shown here in cross-section, contains developing ova in different stages of maturing. Also shown on the left is a mature ovum that has just been released. Now, let's get to know this internal female genitalia is. The ovaries. The ovaries are a pair of small almond-shaped organs located in the lower abdomen, one on either side of the uterus. Next is follicle, is a fluid-filled sac containing a single ovum. There are thousands of these sacs on the inside surface of the ovaries. After that is the ova, also known as eggs, are the female gametes, a singular ovum. These immature ova are present at birth. Normally, after puberty, one ovum matures and is released each month. Lastly, the ovaries also produce the sex hormones estrogen and progesterone. There are 2 fallopian tubes, which are also known as uterine tubes. These tubes extend from the upper end of the uterus to a point near but not attached to an ovary. It also carries sperm outwards from the uterus toward descending mature ovum to allow fertilization happen. The infundibulum is the funnel-shaped opening into the fallopian tube near the ovary. The fimbriae are the fringed finger-like extension of this opening. Their role is to catch the mature ovum when it leaves the ovary each month. One of these tubes carries a mature ovum from the ovary to the uterus. These tubes also carry sperm outwards from the uterus towards descending mature ovum so that fertilization can occur. Next is the uterus. The uterus is also known as the womb pear-shaped organ with muscular walls and a mucous membrane lining filled with a rich supply of blood vessels. This uterus is located between the urinary bladder and the rectum and midway between the sacrum and the pubic bone. In its normal position, which is also known as anteflexion, the body of the uterus is bent forward. Now, let us see the part of the uterus. The part of the uterus consists of 3 major anatomic areas, which is fundus, corpus, and cervix. The fundus is the bulging rounded part above the entrance of the fallopian tubes. Because the fundus rises during pregnancy, measuring the fundus height in relation to the pubic bone helps determine the baby's growth. Next is the corpus, also known as the body of the uterus. The corpus lies a little below the fundus and is composed of 3 layers. One is the endometrium. Endometrium is the inner layer and it consists of specialized epithelial mucosa that is rich in blood vessels. Mucosa refers to the mucous membrane that responds to reproductive hormone by thickening during each menstrual cycle. 2 is the myometrium. Myometrium is the muscular middle and is the layer that enlarges during pregnancy and contracts during labor. Number 3 is the premimetrium. The premimetrium is the tough, membranous outer layer also expands and contracts. Expansions allow for the housing of a growing baby and the contraction will help to push the baby through the cervix and vagina. Last part of the uterus is the cervix. It is the lowest part of the uterus. It connects the uterus to the vagina. The cervix has three main parts. One is endocervix, the inner part that connects the cervix and the uterus. Next is cervical canal. It links the uterus to the vagina. And lastly, the exocervix. It is the exterior part of the cervix that protrudes into the vagina. The last organ of internal female genitalia is vagina. The vagina is the muscular tube lined with mucosa that extends from the cervix to the outside of the body.